hash to subscribe. The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello and welcome to this edition of TVWAN News. I'm Mary Silla.
And I'm Rex.
In this edition, Kumul Minerals pays 100 million kina dividend to state, second batch of police recruitment on hold, and Kumuls back in the grind, ready to take on Cook Islands. The Kumul Minerals Holdings Limited has presented an interim dividend of 1 million kina this morning to the Minister for State-Owned Enterprises, William Duma, in Port Moresby. The interim dividend was from KMHL's shares at Octedi Mine Limited.
Minister for State-Owned Enterprises William Duma expressed satisfaction at the performance of Octedi Mining Limited, which has resulted in the payment of the interim dividend through the Kumul Mineral Holdings Limited.
This is a company that's 100% owned and managed by our own people, of which Kumul Mineral Holdings is the biggest shareholder, 60% shareholder. And I must say that as far as Kumul Mineral Holdings itself is concerned, the future looks bright.
A delighted managing director of Kumul Minerals Holdings Limited, Sarimu Kanu, briefly touched on the OTML success story.
About a couple of years ago, Octedi was in a very challenging situation, and through also the intervention of our minister, we did some really forensic audits of the operation itself, and we managed to turn the company around. Starting from last year, we managed to post some really good profits, which still with challenges, and this year was an extremely remarkable year for Octedi. Starting from Q1 this year, we started producing above budget, above forecast, and not only because of our operational efficiency, but because of commodity prices as well.
He says they hope to deliver more in the months and years to come, indicating a possible payout at the end of the year. With KMHL being the major shareholder, Kanu says they are looking to restore the mine to its glory days.
We know that we will be delivering to the state even more dividends for the following years to come. Past to 2032, we expect Octedi to be at the height of its former glory days, probably 2028, 29, 30, 31, 32.
Duma pointed out that the mining sector plays an extremely vital role in our economy through the rich mineral wealth. These funds will empower citizens, enhance their quality of life, and contribute to the socio-economic advancement of our nation.
These are the times when our companies give us the return that we expect. So, as we know, as a country like ours, with an ever increasing population, every 1 kina, even 2 kina, even 10 kina is very important. And 100 million kina is a very, very big amount of money.
Duma said the government will continue to prioritize sustainable mining practices that protect the environment, while maximizing the benefits for people. He expressed gratitude to Kumul Minerals, Octady Mining, and all those who have worked tirelessly to bring about this result. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
Work to restart Porgera mine has ramped up starting Tuesday as fuel is being stocked up, with the mine expected to reopen next week. Chairman of New Porgera Limited and Managing Director of Kumul Minerals Holdings Limited, Saru Mukanu, revealed this when providing an update of the mine.
And we only started on Tuesday. Right? We started ramping up. And as of Monday or Sunday, we started ramping up our fuel levels, but mining is a high fuel consumer. You can only start with small equipment at a time until your fuel level comes up. Then you start up your big, large mining equipment. So we are gradually ramping up our fuel stocks as well as ramping up the operations as well. So probably next week we should be in full operations.
Prime Minister James Marape has praised the office of the Registrar of Political Parties and Candidates, referring to it as a watchdog of democracy for Papua New Guinea. When launching the office of the Registrar of Political Parties and Candidates' new corporate plan on Wednesday, Prime Minister James Marape urged the registrar and staff to uphold the highest standards in their work to ensure the resilience and integrity of Papua New Guinea's democracy. As the organization responsible for enforcing the organic law on integrity of political parties and candidates, Marape emphasized the importance of the registrar's role in safeguarding the nation's democratic principles. Reflecting on the nation's political journey since 1975, Marape highlighted the challenges of political instability that have affected Papua New Guinea, especially in times of economic and political hardship. The Commission of Inquiry team was told today that the second batch of the 2023 Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary recruits has not commenced training due to discrepancies with the recruitment list and recruits voluntarily leaving the college. Tracy Power with this report.
According to the Director of Training Superintendent, Maria Jones, there were about 207 recruits selected for the second batch of police training at Bomana Police College after the completion of the vetting process. However, she revealed that an additional 2 recruits were illegally added to the list of 207 and a separate list of 23 recruits with no files were given to them. She therefore said they had to delay the training to verify and correct any discrepancies.
232, we had, we do the process of doing the vetting, quality check, and we run the IQ test and basic PT. We've done we did the medicals, and from the medicals, we identified 25 were unfit, dropping the number from 232 down from 240 minus 8, that's 232. From the 232 minus 1, and then we are left with 231 minus the 25 that are unfit upon the medical examination.
That's 207.
207, sir, currently on the ground. And yet we haven't completed the process of doing the vetting of screening of documents, as well as doing the IQ test and getting them on.
She added that 3 of the recruits have voluntarily left the college. These are some of the issues they are currently put up with. Once all of these issues are sorted, they intend to commence training come November 4th. Meanwhile, ACP Peter Philip, when testifying yesterday, also confirmed the many discrepancies that are currently faced in the college, causing a delay in the training of the recruits. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
The increased number of police impersonators around the country is becoming a concern for the constabulary as more dismissed police officers move around wearing police uniforms and conducting roadblocks. Director of Internal Affairs Emil Alpha said the directorate has a record of these officers and are being investigated. He said this when testifying during the Commission of Inquiry into the January 10th civil unrest today in Port Moresby.
Wearing a police uniform and standing on a roadblock with the RTAs.
Well,
they were not members of police, no RSF. They were never trained, they were just civilians wearing police uniform and standing on the road. I don't know under whose authority.
This is TVWAN News. We'll have more stories after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Open lens.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
Superstition ain't the way.
Welcome back. The National Airports Corporation Limited and New Sky Pacific Limited on Wednesday signed a memorandum of agreement formalizing each other's commitment to collaborating on the enhancement of service delivery in their respective organizations. Through the Memorandum of Agreement signed on Wednesday, the National Airports Corporation Limited and New Sky Pacific Limited will collaborate to share aviation data and pursue joint initiatives such as infrastructure development and capacity building.
For us at NAC, it's about building relationships, and I've said this since I came on board with NAC. It's building relationships, partnerships, and data is critical to our business. We can't perform our business if we don't have the appropriate data in terms of what we're dealing with.
It's for the benefit of both organisations and the travelling public and the aviation industry at large. NSPL is in a very advantageous position. The systems and services that we provide generates a lot of data, and that data is extremely useful and can be used in lots of ways to the benefit of both organisations.
By sharing important aviation data and implementing joint initiatives through this MOA, both organizations aim to continue to improve their respective services for the benefit of the aviation industry, the transport sector, and the traveling public. This includes the protection of this data.
One of the things that NSPL is very careful on is cybersecurity. So we have robust cybersecurity systems in place to make sure that the services that we provide are safe.
The MOA also serves to formalize the cooperation that has already been initiated, with collaboration taking place for at least 4 to 5 months already.
We own the airports, and these guys control us, guys control everything that comes and goes. And that was where all this discussion was prompted from, in making sure that we collect data so that we can take advantage of the information that is being shared, take control of our costs, because I was driving from a cost perspective, and I was looking at how we can drive additional revenue for the airline, for NAC. Sorry, I said the airlines because I came from there. So that was where it all stemmed from. And a lot of this information is being captured by NSPL.
NAC and NSPL state that the partnership signifies the commitment of both state aviation entities in positively contributing to the national government's development goals, specifically within the aviation industry and the transportation sector. The MOA will be effective for a period of 3 years.
The plants and cut flower market has made a comeback, with the first market held over the weekend at the National Museum in the nation's capital in preparation for the annual flower show next year. Organized by the Floriculture Association, the plant and cut flower market will end on the 9th of November. The market attracted florists and farmers from as far as the highlands.
Lisa Gamakuli, a florist from Goroka, Eastern Islands Province, flew in from Goroka with other farmers from Montagan to sell the cut flowers and other plants at the National Museum. Gamakuli, who previously had a full-time job, left to develop an interest in growing flowers and has no regrets as her business blossoms. She is encouraging those who have a passion for plants to start a business because flowers can support them financially.
More flower go look out the house, but now me come to realize some flower am got money blame. Now one business where me can go inside lo make him lo support me financially, because now inflation price bill something go up fortnight money no nap. So at least me make all like no lily call a backyard gardening blom flower money blame me plus exhibit la money curtains pots kind of stuff.
Buying plants and starting your backyard garden is more than enjoying the beauty, Gamakuli says. She adds it is also a stress relief to have your backyard garden filled with flowers.
Miss I got passion lo work want flower me round lo work lo me stress problem when me call flower miss a talk and relief therapy garden lo me. So plant time miss lo problem when I miss go inside lo flower garden lo me look all plants lo me all miss a relief stress.
The president of the PNG Floriculture Association, Lynn Lentaka, says COVID-19 prevented the association from hosting regular yearly shows until this year. They have now organized a flower market to gather the interest from members for next year's proper flower show.
Association formed 14th April 2009, and September 2009 we got him this first flower show, and then after 4 years now, so we come back again. So this year, first year when we come back again, work him this market, bring him ting belong all members come back again. Yeah, and through this association, we come up with some avenue. So we help him all inside the city, all married staff inside the city, all families, and also throughout the provinces, all local come. Na salim all plants, na flowers, and create all network.
Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
Kamkumung in Morobe Province is the first Ahi landowner village to lodge their integrated land group application with the Lands and Physical Planning Department. This was made possible through the Kamkumung Land Mobilization Program supported by landowner company Ahi Investment Limited.
Kamkumung is the first of the 6 Ahi villages of Morobe Province to submit their application to be registered as a certified integrated land group from the Lands and Physical Planning Department. The 8 clans of Kamkumung hosted a festive gathering on Wednesday, October 16, where Lands Minister and Deputy Prime Minister John Rosso was invited. Ahi Investments Group Deputy Chairman Guy Galang described it as a milestone that the other Ahi villages of Butibam, Hengali, Wagang, Yanga and Yalu will follow.
With the leadership of the late clan, Kamkumung clan leader, Mr. Eisen, which he passed on, it was a blessing through him that we came this far, and now it's gone, it's passed on, but the generations in Kamkumung will really respect it. In Kamkumung, we're dealing with settlers, and there's big institutions there, so like going through the clan boundaries, each clans will talk, there's so many things that against each other, but they all came together to understand each other to make the common boundary and also the clan boundaries.
Galang, as an elder of the Ahi villages, called on his people to organize themselves to properly register their land.
Now, as we understand, now as DPM has rightly mentioned it, they are selling it for 200 kina, 500 kina now, but in the settlement now, that's where there was an influx of people into the settlement now because of this cheap land being sold out. So as a Ahi leader, now currently with this exercise we're doing now, we just want to ask everybody, not only Ahi, but the rest of the Papua New Guinea landowners, not to sell their land.
Maricela Kelaton, TV1 News.
The Papua New Guinea Law Society, in conjunction with the Victorian Bar, hosted an informative seminar educating Papua New Guinea lawyers about the importance of drafting affidavits, pleadings and written submissions. The seminar, held on Tuesday, 29 October, is part of the week-long 25th Civil and Criminal Advocacy Workshop.
Papua New Guinea lawyers from the public and the private sector commune at the Lamana Hotel in Port Moresby on Tuesday, October 29th, to listen, learn and be inspired by experts from the Victorian Bar who discussed the importance of drafting affidavits, how to produce pleadings and shared tips on formulating written submissions. Opening the seminar through drafting affidavits, Victorian Bar lawyer Maya Rosner said an affidavit is an important document that forms the basis of court proceedings. It is a document that tells the court the witness statement and assists the court with evidence. Hence, lawyers were urged to formulate their affidavit in chronological order, accurate and simple for a judge to understand.
Avoid colloquial expressions. They can be misunderstood. If you're talking about a psychologist, talk about a psychologist, don't talk about a shrink. Shrink is a word that means many other things, and some judges are old and crusty and they just don't understand up-to-date colloquial expressions, so the best rule is to just avoid them altogether.
Rosner said it is equally important to consider who the best witness is. Educating the witness to be faithful when giving evidence is also important. In a discussion on the topic of pleadings, Victorian Bar lawyer Kate Anderson urged lawyers to fully understand the case and analyze the evidence. Lawyers must also ensure that pleadings are properly structured because pleadings determine what evidence may be presented at trial. She said often lawyers who do not formulate a good plea end up having their matter struck out.
Just a trite reminder that it is worthwhile spending the time to get the pleading right, and it repays all that upfront work that you do at the beginning to try and get the pleading accurate and reflective of where your case is going to go.
Meanwhile, Victorian Bar lawyer Claire Severus ended the seminar with the importance of formulating a written submission. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.2534 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, kina was buying $0.2459, $0.3714 Australian dollars, €0.2189 euro, and 37.39 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, cocoa, copra, and crude oil closed higher. Copper closed lower while palm oil remained unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all the ordinaries closed lower as well. We'll be back after the break with news from around the region. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSB branch today to register now for BSB Mobile Banking. BSB Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSB, our bank, our people.
Enjoying life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Hot in talk, young or old, let's raise family meal with home. We'll bring out the smiles cause it's our favorite for miles. Tennessee cola, scare rice, don't scare price. Tennessee cola, scare rice, don't scare price. Amber, you like it?
Hiya, Mama. You wait time, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for give chicken, a great fumu too. Sip, sip, the mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves. Rugby League is a powerful force that unites Papua New Guinea and develops our youth. Through partnerships with the PNG LNG Kumuls, Grassroots Rugby League and Justin Olam, we aim to instill skills to last a lifetime.
I'm community blue. When it's on you welcome, I'm a community. You must not community.
When we invest in people, we invest in tomorrow's possibilities.
These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Oh, maybe not.
Ding bang ding. Bang.
Welcome back. In news around the region, tuberculosis has regained its position as the deadliest infectious disease in the world. The World Health Organization has found 1.25 million people died from the bacterial infection last year.
Tuberculosis, or TB, is a highly infectious disease caused by a bacteria. And we know that globally, TB has, even before COVID, was one of the biggest killer or infectious diseases killer. And most of the burden that we see is in low and middle income country. It's a disease of poverty. It's often associated with poor living conditions or social conditions. And so often we see very high burdens in low and middle income country, including many countries in our region, such as Indonesia, Cambodia, Papua New Guinea, where we see a lot of high burden of tuberculosis, but also we see the disease affect people living in Australia as well. It's a preventable disease. It's also a curable disease, but ultimately there are lots of different complex factors that are at play. You can detect it, so there are really more and more advances being made in how the disease is detected and how it's treated. But there are a couple of big things. First, it's a disease of poverty, and because it's the way it spreads when people are living in close contact settings. So unless some of those more, as we call them, social determinants of health are addressed, we're going to continue to face this challenge of TB transmission in many settings. But also from a, I guess, public health medical perspective, we need to ensure that people who might be infected or are infected do have access to testing so they can get detected and be put on treatment. And the challenges with treatment as well is that it's treated by commonly used antibiotics, but it's long-term as well. So staying on that is also really important to have really good access to medical care as well.
Australia will increase its missile defense capability after China's test of an intercontinental ballistic missile in the South Pacific raised significant concerns, and as the Asia-Pacific region enters a missile age. Australia plans to increase its missile defense and long-range strike capability and will cooperate with security partners, the United States, Japan, South Korea, on issues of regional stability. Australian Minister for Defence Industry Pat Conroy revealed this week. Australia would deploy SM-6 missiles on its Navy destroyer fleet to provide ballistic missile defense. Australia is among several Asia-Pacific nations that are dramatically increasing defense spending. Abortion is legal right across the country, but doctors fear an unspoken ban is robbing rural and regional women of the right to choose. An ABC investigation has revealed patients are being denied equitable access due to a range of reasons, including ideological positions, unclear guidelines, and a lack of government funding.
Still reeling. Melissa's carefully planned surgical abortion was upended by a phone call just hours before she was due to be admitted to hospital.
He just basically said, "I'm really sorry, we can't do the procedure today." I was broke down. I was like, "What do you mean you can't do, what is that? Where does that leave me?"
On the phone was her obstetrician.
I could tell he was baffled by the whole situation and he didn't understand why it hadn't happened.
Melissa's surgical termination was meant to be performed here at Queanbeyan District Hospital in southern New South Wales. Her baby had severe life-limiting malformations. This hospital had performed the same procedure under similar circumstances before. But the ABC can reveal that since Melissa's experience, the hospital suddenly stopped providing surgical terminations for fetal anomalies and medical reasons.
Melissa's GP says there's been no explanation of the late cancellation, despite repeated requests to the local health district. She fears an ideological opposition to abortion could ultimately be behind it.
It feels like you're shadowboxing, that there's a pushback and you're not really sure why, and that's very frustrating.
The local health district says it supports women to access abortion services, including medical termination of pregnancy. Doctors are calling it an unspoken ban. In Orange, the local members also seeking answers after the hospital there stopped providing abortions for non-medical reasons.
This is something that's permitted under law. It's a public health institution.
The local health district that oversees Orange has confirmed it is sending women seeking abortions for non-medical reasons to private providers or family planning.
The power lies with the Minister and with the Health Department. And it's really important that they ensure that this essential healthcare is delivered.
Melissa eventually had a medical abortion at her local hospital. Ultimately, though, she was denied the right to choose.
Hindus across the world will celebrate the Diwali festival tonight with colourful luminous displays signifying the triumph of light over darkness. But in India's capital, one of the major ways to celebrate the setting of firecrackers will exacerbate an already extreme air pollution problem.
Stocking up ahead of a big celebration. Millions of Indians here and around the world will celebrate Diwali today, the Hindu festival that signifies good triumphing over evil.
Since childhood we have been celebrating Diwali, and it's all about being together and of course the decorations.
The way to celebrate? Lights and firecrackers. But the novelty comes at a cost, the smoke exacerbating an already severe air pollution problem.
It's a complete haze. Sometimes it's just that morning you cannot see beyond 100 meters.
To combat the problem, the Delhi government has banned the sale of all firecrackers for the rest of the year. It is allowing the use of green firecrackers for 2 hours tonight, which supposedly produce 30% less particulate matter. But to find a shop that is allowed to sell them, you have to travel an hour out of Delhi to a shop like this one.
Green crackers are more expensive than normal crackers by about 25%. But they are less harmful, so we prefer people to buy and burst green.
Some believe they're a responsible way to celebrate.
Even I'm telling my brother, let's not buy too much, let's buy only the green crackers and let's buy as minimum as possible.
But environmentalists say they're a scam.
So this is really strange that you are willing to say that, okay, so I'll give less poison to my child, less toxicity with less crackers or green crackers. Or
Despite the rules, you can still easily buy green crackers here in Delhi. Because the ban only came in at the start of last month, a lot of what is now technically contraband had already been bought, and vendors are openly selling it. And those who use them say Diwali shouldn't be demonised.
This is for one day. We celebrate this Diwali for one day only. And traffic pollution causes us 365 days in a year.
Just days out from the planned opening of Darwin's new youth prison, 2 teenagers have escaped from custody in Alice Springs. Meantime, the fallout from corrections emergency measures to relieve watch house overcrowding is spilling over into the courts.
$1 million facelift, the Alice Springs Youth Detention Centre, now the site of a breakout. Police believe the teens climbed onto the roof and fled in a car, last seen on Il Papa Road, prompting an extensive search.
The Labor government promised Territorians that a new youth justice facility in Alice Springs would cost in the order of $13 million. That blew out to somewhere closer to $40 million, and just a few months into that facility being opened, can't even keep prisoners in it.
Some believe the escape is a foreseeable reaction to a plan to move all Central Australian teens in custody to Darwin.
Those kids would be so worried. They have no idea what's going to happen. Like, can you imagine being like 12, 13, 14, 15 and, you know, thinking, oh, I'm going to be sent away from my family?
The plan, part of a crisis response to overcrowding in the adult detention system. Record numbers of adult prisoners are being sent to the Darwin Police Watch House and the Darwin and Alice Springs jails to free up space in watch houses elsewhere. Darwin youth will be transferred from the former adult jail in Berrima to a new youth facility next week, making space for adult prisoners. And from early December, they'll be joined by Alice Springs youth detainees, so Alice Springs Youth Detention Centre can be repurposed for adult female inmates. In the meantime, inside Darwin Correctional Centre, prisoners are sleeping on mattresses on the floor.
It's like a pressure cooker situation in there. And, you know, it's hot. At this time of year, it's really hot.
Today, prison conditions formed the basis for a number of bail applications heard in the Darwin local court. Lawyers for one man with serious medical issues telling the court he held concerns for his life, with the prisons in a state of what they described as absolute chaos. In a separate application, lawyers said a woman had been set upon, with rising tensions between existing Darwin prisoners and new women brought up from Alice Springs. The government promising to address the drivers of crime by kicking off consultation on a mandatory alcohol rehabilitation plan next year.
And that ends the news segment. Rex will join you for sports when we return.
In its first 10 years, the PNG LNG project has had a long-lasting impact, contributing more than 26 billion kina to the state of Papua New Guinea. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levy and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Kumul Petroleum is a major regional petroleum industry player involved in large-scale upstream, midstream and downstream petroleum and energy developments in the country. We are committed to ensuring that Papua New Guineans maximize benefits from the petroleum and energy sector.
The race that stops the nation is back.
And the field is set to run. Ready to go. And they're racing.
Watch the Melbourne Cup 2024 live. Tuesday, 5th November, 12:30 p.m. on ABC Australia.
Welcome back. In sports, after knocking off the Fiji Bati in Suva in the Pacific Championship 2 weeks ago, the PNG Kumuls are back in camp after a break last week. While training has been intense and focused, coach Jason Dimitrios says his boys are back and looking sharp, ready to go again. Kumuls have a lot of respect for the Cook Islands Aitu, but won't back down on Sunday.
Coach Demetrio said today was only Kumul's second full session of the week in training, but was impressed with the enthusiasm and energy shown by the team in their workouts. Takeaways from the Fiji game, Demetrio said there are some critical aspects of the game, mainly defense, needing tidying up over the next couple of days, but overall the boys are game ready.
There was areas where we've still got a bit laxer in and around that ruck that, we want to be a bit more consistent with that, but also naturally spending more time together, we're going to get sharper with the ball as well, a bit more connection and understanding what we're trying to do, but there's some really good signs after training today.
Some big announcements also came out of the Kumuls camp this week, with Coach Demetrio handing over the captaincy role to Lee Centurion, aged number 7, and son of former Kumul great Adrian Lam, Lachlan Lam.
Probably one of the best bits of news or best conversation I've had with a young bloke. He was chomping at the bit when I asked him if he was interested in captaining the country, and yeah, it's pretty special to, I was fortunate to play against his dad plenty of times over in England, and yeah, for his son to captain, I don't know of anyone that's done it before where a father and son have captained at international level, so yeah, it's unique and yeah, special for both of them.
Upon accepting the call from Coach Demetrio, young Lachlan was emotional but honoured for the privilege to lead the country out for the first time in his young playing career, following the footsteps of his dad.
A little bit emotional, but I was very happy, very proud, and privileged to have that honour. It's not something I take very lightly, and obviously there's a little bit of history there with my family and that role, so very special for me to be able to do that.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The towering Kumuls probe Wellington Albert is among 7 players on the exit departing the Featherstone Rovers, rugby league club in the English Super League. The 14th-time PNG Kumuls has yet to find himself a new home for the next season. English Super League club Featherstone Rovers have told the PNG international Wellington Albert that they would not renew his contract, leaving him searching for a new home. Love Rugby League reported that no club in the Super League has shown interest in securing his service yet. English Super League club Featherstone Rovers have told the PNG international Wellington Albert that they would not renew his contract, leaving him searching for a new home. Love Rugby League reported that no club in the English Super League has shown interest in securing his services yet. Wellington's illustrious career appears to be on the crossroad as the towering prop needs to secure himself a new contract. If he fails to secure himself a new contract with a rival club, this would spell an end to a dedicated and well-earned 7 years of rugby league on the English soil. The Kumuls prop moved over to England at the end of 2017, joining Widnes Vikings for 2 seasons, 2018 and 2019, the Tier 2 competition. Since then, he has been playing in different competitions with a handful of teams, including Super League powerhouse club Leeds Rhinos. The Madi Murug's product was instrumental in helping London Broncos secure promotion into Super League in 2023, but he couldn't get a contract extension, thus forced him to look for a new club and found himself in the Featherstone Rovers colours. Albert was to be the star of the new PNG Hunters franchise introduced into the Intrust Super Cup in 2014. But before he ever pulled on the Hunters jersey, he was taken away to join the Penrith Panthers in the NRL on 2 years contract. He couldn't make the top 30-man team, so he moved over to England at the end of 2017. On representative front, Albert has been a reliable forward and a good 7 to PNG National Rugby League team, the PNG Kumuls. He has made name for himself, his family and community, and country proud donning the Kumuls jersey. Making his Kumuls debut in 2013 World Cup in England, Albert went on to play 14 matches in Kumuls colour. Albert went on to play 14 matches for PNG Kumuls and 19 matches for Rovers. The Wallabies are just over a week away from the start of the Grand Slam tour of the United Kingdom and Ireland, and the excitement, at least from the Australian side, is building nicely.
Yes, they love their rugby.
There has been some shade thrown the Wallabies' way in the recent months regarding their recent performances. English halfback Ben Youngs once publicly said the Wallabies are in disarray. Regardless, the fact is the Wallabies are building in the first year after a horror World Cup and in the first year of the new World Cup cycle. The Grand Slam Tour is a double-edged sword for coach Joe Smith and Australian rugby. On one hand, it was about the commercial windfalls for the marquee event, helping keep the game above water. But on the other hand, it condenses the timeline for improvement of a team in its infancy. Nevertheless, the die has been cast, and Smith and his group of experienced coaches knew what they signed up for. This tour is the opportunity to bring their vision together for the final dress rehearsal before the Lions tour in July. While the Wallabies are ranked well below some of the home nations, they are still a side with talents, work ethic, and X factor. They appear to be a genuine team than they were in the World Cup. The team comprising some of the best rugby talents. The cross-code star Joseph Suali'i from the Sydney Roosters has been named in the team as well and will be making his highly anticipated outing on the pitch. The Wallabies play England on November 10th at Alliance Stadium, Twickenham. It will be a cracker of a game. The last time these two teams met was in 2023. And that wraps up the sports segment. Mary Silla with Weather Report.
Port Moresby, cloudy with few rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Kerema, cloudy with rain periods with possible thunderstorms. Alotau, partly cloudy with few showers. Momase, Lae, partly cloudy with few rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Wewak, partly cloudy with possible brief showers. New Guinea Islands, Lorengau, partly cloudy with chances of brief showers. Kokopo, Rabaul, cloudy periods with few showers. And Buka, partly cloudy with possible few showers and thunderstorms. Highlands, Mendi, Tari and Wabeg, cloudy with night rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Coral Seas, seas slight to moderate with east to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Solomon Sea sees smooth to slight with southeast to southwest winds of 5 to 15 knots. Bismarck Sea sees slight with southwest to northwest winds of 5 to 10 knots. And Pacific Ocean sees smooth to slight winds of 5 to 10 knots. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Islands to Kerema to Yule Island to Hood Point to Samarai Islands, and waters of Finchafen through Vitia Strait to CSC Long Island, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Samarai Island to Cape Bogle and all Milne Bay Islands, waters of Cape Bogle to Huen Gulf to Finchafen, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And waters of Medan to Wewak to Vanimo and northern PNG Indonesian border, and waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.5 to 1 meter. And that ends the news tonight. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.